Hi, my name is Kirbee Miller, and I am an author, entrepreneur, and lover of people. When I think about many of the concepts that we've talked about, they're not just concepts. They're real things that I have lived, that I've been through, and that have really helped me. And there's some moments in my life that, upon reflection, I'm like, did that really happen? One of those would be a gourmet popcorn line that was born. And it's a really funny story. It came to life during a time that I was in corporate America in healthcare informatics, had a very demanding career. But because I've always had a duality of being highly analytical and a visionary, I had started this kind of concept on the side. And there was a project at work that required us to work around the clock. And I was in kind of the war room with the CIO and the COOs, and we were in it. Well, there was one weekend that we had to be together, and I knew none of us were going to want to be together Saturday and Sunday. And we had to be together starting at 5:45 in the morning on Saturday. But I woke up at 3 o'clock that morning, and I said, I could go back to sleep, or let's get up, get ready for the day. And when I got up, I said, we're going to need some companion carbs to get through this day. And I created this popcorn. At that time, didn't have a name. That was a delicious Cajun popcorn. Took that into the office, and they were like, we need more of this. And that was the initial spark. During that same time in my life, I had this parallel world where I was doing television, teaching people to cook and connect and hosting these events. So I started to take the popcorn to those events. And people would say, okay, I want more of this. And I said, well, it's not for sale. It's just a fun thing. And there was a woman who came to an event, and she hunted me down on Instagram. And she wrote me and she said, I just had this Cajun popcorn at an event. I'm a business owner. I want to buy some. Nice. I wrote her back and said, if I ever decide to sell it, you'll be the first call. She wrote me back and said, you don't understand. I give you money. You give me popcorn. I said, wow. Thus, a gourmet popcorn line was born that literally has been around the world. So it's one of those things that was like a small nod, a knowing something that I love in the food space, knowing that people get connected through food that has turned into a really beautiful journey. And it's really fun to get those messages from people who I may never meet who are like, oh my goodness, I just had this popcorn and it's ended up in some really extraordinary places. And for me, it just taught me something seemingly insignificant as a popcorn kernel could turn into a really beautiful part of the story. And even though it was hard for me initially, but it is really beautiful to know that something that came out of a simple moment that used some of my gifting has made an impact. The intention was pure, and I think when any of us get overwhelmed and we feel like we don't know where to go, or we feel like we're stuck, or we feel like we have to take another class, or we feel like any of those things, I offer this to you. It's something that helps me recalibrate. And yes, it's in the form of a quote. And it's by Oprah, and she says, nourish whatever makes you feel content, connected, and confident. An opportunity will rise to meet you.